Well guys, we have a long day ahead of us. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to some 86 content. Today we have one of the last things that we have stacked up for the 86 today, and I'm really pumped about it. It's gonna make for some overall toge fun. We are installing our OG bridge racing seat from our friends over at Top Rank. Thank you to you guys for sourcing this guy out for me. And we're also installing Cusco roll cage in the car today, which I'll show you guys in just a second. We just got all this stuff freshly reupholstered from SOS, and the cage was freshly repainted from SOS as well. It's amazing. I'm very excited for this because not only is it gonna it's gonna make the interior of the car pop a lot. You guys know how much I love interior bits, but also it's gonna stiffen the chassis. It's gonna make it handle a little bit better, and overall it's just gonna be like way more fun in the car with this stuff installed.
You would take the biggest one.
Let's not hit anything here. I debated with myself for so long whether or not I wanted to go white, black, or keep the Cusco blue, and I figured it's OG. We have to keep the Cusco blue color for the cage. And since the car is white, seeing this on the inside of the car, it's just gonna be so vibrant. It's gonna make the car pop a lot. And SOS did a phenomenal job at respraying this and keeping the original Cusco blue color. We have Tim here sorting through all of our nuts and bolts, all freshly picked up and sourced by the legend right here, which would be really cool. So before we install the cage and before we install the period correct, might I add, bridge racing seat here, we are going to go ahead and start picking apart the interior on the 86 as it sits. We need to pull both seats out, and we're actually going to put the cage into the car first and connect it all, because if you guys don't know, this is pretty much like a piece together cage. It's not welded together or anything like that. So give me a little example here. This thing pieces together just like this. We have all the rest of the pieces right over here in our little JDM part section right here. That's all the pieces of the cage. We are going to build the cage inside of the car first, and then we'll take it on the lift, do all of our drilling into the chassis of the car, bolt everything down. It's gonna be sick, but first off, like I said, we gotta pull out both the front seats and start mocking everything up. Take the jumper cables. So this is not actually how it's gonna sit, but I wanted to mock it up really fast just to get kind of an idea of what we're looking at here. The nice thing about the 86 is that there's actually a lot of room in here. It's very spacious. So let's go ahead and just set this guy somewhat. I guess gotta sit here. Oh God, okay. So there is gonna be a lot of cutting and trimming involved here. So this is a very tedious and time-consuming process that we'll probably skip a lot through and kind of show you guys what we come up with in the end. But I wanted to give you guys kind of like a basic relative look at how this is going to go down. So, oh man, this is going to be a tight fit, guys. But it looks freaking sweet already. Lots of toying, lots of playing, but she's going to look good, guys. Trust me. We have the man, the myth, the legend, John here from 5150 Racing, who's gonna help us get a little bit of sauce on the R32 today. Well, he's gonna get us prepared for the sauce, basically. So we have a lot of miscellaneous things left to do before we can get a tune. And John here is gonna be the one tuning the car. Are you ready? Are you excited for this?
Oh yeah. This is gonna be a great time.
So before we take the car to the dyno, we wanted to do us all a favor here and make sure that we don't waste any time when we take the car to the dyno, in case there is something that we're missing or something that goes wrong with the car. Any situation like that, which happens way too commonly when you're going to the dyno or to get a tune or whatever. So we had John make a little bit of a house call today and kind of go over everything with the car, the ECU, the wiring, all of the external plugs that we have, the car itself. So currently what we're doing right now is the turbo housing off, and we're going to go ahead and put a port here for the boost line, so that John can correctly read the boost on the boost controller and all that good stuff. And also we went ahead and checked our wastegates to make sure we had the correct wastegate pressure springs in here, which is good. And John, what else are we gonna be checking today?
Today, we're gonna make sure that the boost lines are hooked up right so the wastegate works, which is a common problem. Making sure it runs so that it can get on the dyno, and then kind of configuring the CAN bus for dash and whatever
Basically
else.
like reading everything, right?
Yeah, making sure everything works so that when you show up, I can actually do my job.
Yes, which that is the most important thing for us today. And as you guys know, it's been a long time in the making. Tommy and the crew did an amazing job putting the car together. Now it's time to correctly finish this and make sure that we can get on the track. So, quick little timeline for you guys. Today is Tuesday. John was kind enough to come down like we told you. We're gonna make sure everything, granted, hopefully, we're crossing our fingers, we're putting positive vibes into the universe, right, John? Everything's gonna go good today. We're not gonna be missing anything, everything's gonna go smoothly. John's gonna be able to get in his car, work some wizardry, and it's all gonna be okay. Thursday, we're gonna make it to the dyno. We're actually gonna get the dyno tune. And then on the 17th of this month, we have our first shakedown with the car at Button Willow, which will, basically, if you guys don't know what that means, we're gonna take the car to the track for the first time and make sure nothing breaks. Make sure everything works. And then on the weekend of the 25th, we have our first competition, which is gonna be Grid Life at Willow Springs. So we have a very busy month with this car. Our goal is to make our event on the 17th, obviously, to make sure that this car on the track rips, first of all. Second of all, it just works in general. So that's our goal for today, is to make sure everything is buttoned up here. John's gonna help us out with that, and it's gonna be a lot of fun, even though we already got kind of started with all this here.
It started enough.
You know, John, I'm very curious, sir. I've never experienced a GTR on dual wastegates.
It's gonna be loud.
It's gonna be, and the car, you haven't heard the car yet. Most importantly, John has not heard the car yet, so I hope
I'm
you're
assuming there's no muffler and or
it is
any silencing.
ungodly. Yes, we'll bring some headphones.
Doesn't bother me.
So, okay, good. Making sure that. Okay. How's it going over here, John?
It's going.
You pressing some buttons, doing some things?
Yeah, pushing buttons, hoping things work.
Is it working? That's important, though.
There are some things that are working.
That's a big yes. If you guys watched the series when we were actually putting this car together at Tom's shop and Jimmy was working on the car, there was a couple of things that were not working, which is why the tune is not perfect by any means at all. Basically, the tune was to get the car started and drive out of the shop onto the trailer. That's as far as we could get. Whereas John is here actually perfecting things and getting this to run properly as it should, and getting all the sensors to work, getting the dash to properly work, all of that good stuff, which is gonna make a huge difference. Okay guys, it has been a little bit since the last clip I filmed with John here. John actually just headed out. He got all the data and everything that he needed to go back to his shop, make up pretty much like a base map and get everything ready for the actual dyno tune. So that makes me feel a lot better. He said that we do have everything that we needed. Everything looks good. We made sure that we had the correct spring rate in our wastegates. We have our boost controller connected to the turbo now. Everything seems to be good with the GTR, which is a very good sign. So that means Thursday we're going to the dyno tune, and it seems kind of surreal that I'm saying that. This is 2.5 years in the making, Tim.
Yeah.
And the car is about to frickin' rip. Not as hard as we would like, because we still are going to be on pump gas and we're running our stock fuel system here. We did not have time to actually get the in-tank surge tank that we wanted, and that's just in time for the events that we're trying to make this month, but that'll come in the future. And this will also be a really good time for us to get used to the car on a somewhat manageable power level. We can talk about all of that once we make it to the dyno, but long story short, guys, everything looks good on the GTR, and we should be able to have a very successful dyno tune. Now, moving back to the 86, we have some not so exciting news here. The seat looks amazing on the seat rail that we have here. So we have the Buddy Club seat rail and slider, which this can actually go in today. But as we move on into the car, Cusco actually has two separate models of their cages. One model is for a sunroof car, and one model is for a non-sunroof car. And when I bought this cage from the previous owner, unfortunately it wasn't specified whether it was a sunroof or non-sunroof cage, and I didn't even think about checking that. And it turns out this is a non-sunroof cage. So as you guys can see, well, hopefully you can see, let me flip the camera, oh God. As you guys can see, the headliner right here kind of has a divot for the sunroof. That helps the sunroof retract, move backwards and move forwards. This sunroof does not move either way. It doesn't even work, first of all, but the rails are still here. And what that means is this cage needs to sit up like this, and it sits right where the rails are. And now we thought of the idea of maybe just cutting the rails to make it sit. Not only that, but since this is a full Cusco cage, the rails that go to the front of the car actually sit along right where the sunroof rails run, which means we can't fit any part of this cage in the car, which is extremely, extremely frustrating. And that's definitely my fault. So the only way that we can correct this is either number one, I sell this cage and get a sunroof cage, or to just take the sunroof out and fill where the sunroof was, which this thing leaks anyway really bad. When I wash the car, there's tons of water that gets into the interior. So it needs to be done either way. And so that seems like the more likely option for us here, is that we're just gonna have to patch the sunroof and then we can install the cage down the road. So not the end of the world, but it's definitely not ideal. I was really looking forward to having the cage in the car today, and we got it freshly repainted. It looks so nice. Unfortunately, that's not happening today. At least we can put the bridge seat in the car, which is what I'm gonna do. Tim is currently putting the turbo housing back on, which will be really nice. So while he does that, I will install the seat and we can test her out. Mouthful. Fuck, dude, I don't know if this is gonna work. All right, guys, well, that took a lot longer than I anticipated. The bridge seat is in. Unfortunately, we could not use the slider because the slider sat me too high up in the car, so it just mounted in place, and it's actually in a really nice position for me. So I'll go ahead. Sitting here for you guys, I definitely do need the Vertex quick lift hub with the new steering wheel because my legs do hit this pretty bad, but I do sit in a good position for what's comfortable for me, thankfully. The seat feels awesome. I fit really nice in the seat. We retained the stock seat belt, which I like too. It's really nice. Last but not least, I have a JDM OEM Toyota part for the 86 that I want to install here. Just something a little bit nicer. So let's go ahead and remove this. This is just a nice little piece to finish her off on the interior. I was expecting to have the cage in here too, but it's okay. The bridge seat will have to do for now. So check this out, guys. We're gonna do away with this guy here, and we actually have an OEM TRD 5-speed shift knob for the 86, which is really nice. I ordered this from Japan. It's very nice. Strangely enough, the shift knob smells like a brand new car. It smells like the brand new GR86 that I got, which is really weird. I guess it must be just the adhesive or the leather that Toyota uses. It smells like my new GR86. It's very strange, but TRD leather 5-speed shift knob for the 86. Let's go ahead and install this guy. Just a nice little touch here. Adds a little bit of spice to the interior. Kind of like when you get your girlfriend or your wife some new jewelry. It makes her feel nice, makes her happy. Same thing with the car. That's what little interior bits like a shift knob does. And this is just beautiful. Check that out, guys. Perfect. And we have a nice little TRD badge right on the side. Oh yeah. And it's a little bit heavier weighted than this one too. I keep saying this, but we definitely need a freaking scale at the shop so we can weigh stuff like this, because this definitely has a few more grams or ounces on this shift knob. Actually, you know what, guys? If you're a VIP member, this is going in a random VIP package for one of you guys. You have 24 hours to sign up from the time this video goes live, and then I'm gonna pick one of you guys, film it, and this is going inside your next month's VIP package. That is gonna be it for, let's get this nice and tight. There we go. Boom. Now we're ready to rock and roll. Test for this is gonna be the drive home. How comfortable is the seat on the drive home? Now, Can't really give an accurate gauge here because of how gnarly the diff is. If you guys remember when we installed the GTS rear end, the diff on this thing is absolutely ridiculous and way too freaking loud. So that is something that we do need to change coming up in the near future. But the seat itself seems pretty damn nice, and I think we are going to be taking this thing to the track pretty soon, so this will help out just a little bit. I have the pleasure of driving Timbro home tonight. Tim, I have bad news for you. The diff is gnarly.
So I need earplugs?
Honestly, yes. The seat feels like really comfortable, surprisingly, dude. Like, I have a lot of room in here. It's like a good position. My knees thankfully don't hit the steering wheel too much. I was telling everybody that I definitely need to put the Vertex quick flip thing up. We can't find a steering wheel. That's the issue here, guys.
Yeah.
So none of my personal wheels are in stock. They have like Momo and Nardi, but like, you really want the personal wheel, you know? Yeah. So I'm holding out, but I don't know how much longer I can hold out for. Even though I do like this, wheel.
Yeah.
Also, fun fact, guys, this is actually the same Brit seat that Takumi and Initial D puts in his 86. So just a little
fun fact.
Nice little touch. These things grip way too hard.
It's pretty loud. It's pretty freaking loud.
It's pretty miserable, right? Like, I'm sure it's great on the track, but for like this highway driving, like for at least 30 minutes when you get out of the car, that's all you hear is the ringing.
It's pretty bad. I don't know if I could do like hours and hours of this.
No way. We'll see if it rips on the track though.
Yeah.
This is where I'm gonna end the video. Just woke up and we have a lot of progress to go over. You guys are gonna get a pretty exciting video on Friday. This is way too cool. Thank you so much for watching today's video. So many exciting things happening. Shop build, obviously, GTR, dyno tune, lots of really good GTR parts coming in. If you haven't already, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. We are trying to get to 600K. We're this close, this freaking close. Once again, thank you guys for watching. I'll see all of you guys in the next one. Peace out.